This is a fundamental freedom, very much connected to freedom of expression and freedom of thought. And this is something that, let's say, is protected from the state. This is where the individual has his own discretion on what to believe or not to believe, and this is an absolute non-derogable right. I basically believe that, and I think most documents and most of the judgments of the European Court and opinions and general comments of various committees of the United Nations tend to lean on the state doing, let's say, not a very heavy hand of the state. That the state treating it with respect, and the state not playing very much overall. You of course all know about the principle of separation of church and state, which means that, well, if there's sort of state institutions, that doesn't, basically there are no religious symbols there, that let's say in education system, unless the schools are specifically affiliated with some church, in which case this is a prerogative, let's say, of the parents and the student to send them there. But in the state-provided institutions, that there is really no role for any religious organization, that this is sort of outside of the state's realm. It has to be looked on individual basis. There are obviously examples of this in a number of countries, in European countries, and let's say in Poland, where I lived for a long time. Obviously the role of the Catholic Church is very important. There are some churches that look like the Anglican Church that are deeply sort of associated with one country. But I think that even in this cases, when there is a dominant religion, there is obviously room for minority religions. The fact that all three countries are members of the Council of Europe, that they've had a lot of interaction with European Union, just sort of people are more exposed to different practices. There is, I think, realization of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. In Georgia, for example, the non-discrimination law, while it was difficult to pass and there were some heated discussions, there was, I think, understanding that something like this is needed. I think there is an evolving understanding for the need for religious tolerance and patience. Of course, there are different manifestations of intolerance, and as they say, Rome was not built in a day. But also, hopefully, with time, this will.